this is kind of like a letter to Trump when he comes in January 20th to let him know what the truck drivers are feeling about our industry. If we were going to give an official video letter to him right now, what's the biggest change you think is hurting our industry?
Insurance is just too high. We can't afford the insurance as it is, so it's cutting into our profits, and from there we can make it in least to the next year. Companies are just going overboard with it.
Yeah,
there's no regulations on it. Yeah,
because I've heard some where they own 1 or 2 trucks and they had a clean record, and the next year their insurance still went up.
It still went up, yeah, every year. And the speech that all the agents give you is, well, they got across the board, they got to increase on the rate, so everybody went up. So that's the excuse they give you always. It's the same spiel, no matter what company you've been with. I've been with 3 different companies, and each year each company said the same thing.
Wow. So hey, Trump, when you get in, we need that insurance lower.
Right? Oh.
Today's interview is a letter to Trump. He's going to be in what, January 20th, I believe?
Yes, sir.
So we got a couple days left.
Yep.
If this was a video letter to him for all the truck drivers, what would you like the change to be in the trucking industry? Let them know.
Hours of service.
What do you mean by that when you say hours of service?
I mean, there's plenty of trucks out here on the road that's getting stuff done, but I feel like we are too heavily regulated in the industry already.
Why do people say the hours of service makes them even more tired? Why is that? Let the American people know.
It's forcing them to stop when they're not ready to stop. It's making you go to sleep when you're not ready to sleep, so that's the biggest deal there.
All right, mother truckers, today's segment is about keeping old school trucking alive. Today we are with the owner, Freddie. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right, bro. How you doing today, Alex?
Good. We're out there here in Houston. Uh-oh, we got a customer coming in.
Now we're blessed, bro.
Hey.
The trucks are always running.
For today's new segment of, let's see if it starts.
Man, it'll start up, bro. It'll start up.
It will?
It'll start up.
What year truck is this? What we got?
This is a 1962 Peterbilt. This is the wrong hood that's on the truck. This is a 351. This is a California truck. Obviously a butterfly hood. As you can tell, you can see the radiator on the inside smaller. But the hoods were always breaking on the farmers. Peterbilt had an application to put a 359 hood on these trucks so they can keep them rolling.
So wow. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Get it going. So this truck, obviously, at the time these were keyless. Push button, start it. We'll give it a cold start so people can see it.
Ooh.
Still for the year, still turns on right away, huh?
Yeah.
Cold start, cold start. As you can tell, there's a lot of modifications that have to be redone to the truck for us to actually get it to where we want it to be. But for the year model, we're happy to still have one of these around here.
Yeah, that's awesome, brother. Look at that. And you said this came out, what, 1960?
1962, yes, sir.
So 1962, before trucking was deregulated in 1980.
So really differently, obviously. This is what we can say the golden era.
The golden era of trucking right here.
Obviously, when these started to come out, this is what started all the after all the 359s. What's really popular was a 379, 389. But this is what's gold. Obviously, if you weren't driving a cab over, you're driving one of these. This was the hood you wanted.
I love it. That's awesome. So this thing still will work. It'll still drive.
Yeah. So my buddy had it there in his yard, just moving some small stuff that they do on his farm. But nah, it'll be able to pull it low once we're done with it. If we're gonna build something and put it together, we want to be able to work it. You know what I mean? My respect to those guys who do show trucks, amazing. I love seeing always a truck that has something crazy modified, something really different. But man, I gotta respect these guys who are out here working every day, because it takes a lot to have a nice truck and to work it every day, to keep it clean, keep up with it. It's money. money.
I love it.
And a lot of time you'll never get back.
You know, I love
But
it, man.
when you love what you do, you give it all, everything.
That's great, man. That's cool.
Really heavy hood. From what I was told, when these hoods were on these trucks, 359, they had actuators. So, fucking heavy.
So what motor is this?
350.
A 350?
Cummins, yeah.
350 Cummins, baby.
It's an old. Recently, we had to get the starter repaired. It took about a week and a half. It has some air leaks, it has some exhaust leaks. Things have to be changed. We haven't done nothing to it. All the wires have to be redone. All the wires. Well, we want to rebuild it all original. We want it all new. So this is a 1962 351 Peterbilt. So back in the day, this is a butterfly hood, but it's the wrong hood that's on there. Peterbilt had an application for the farmers that when the hoods were breaking, they were putting 359 hoods on them. So the guys wouldn't stop working. They keep going. And I was this truck was sold to me by a buddy of mine here in Huntsville, buddy Hardy. He one of his friends had a needle nose, and I was like, "Hey, what's up, man? Sell it to me." Oh, I said, "Come on, bro, you don't need that truck." I'm hauling my head. So man, he goes, "But your buddy has one put up." And I told him, "Man, I heard you had this truck, and I seen it for sale." And we went yes or no, yes. Man, you know what? Come on. He goes, "I'm gonna drop it off." I said, "It's cool." So we want to redo this. Man, this is gold school. You know what I mean? Original American muscle. You know, anybody back in the day, if this truck could talk, bro, it talked for days. Has history. You know what I mean? Has history. And I'm a big fan of what's cab overs, old school trucks. I like going to shows and talking to people who restore some of these trucks. It takes a lot of money, a lot of time, but we want to eventually tear it down and do it right.
You know, and tell me, how long have you been in this industry for, brother?
So I've been in the chrome industry for already 13 years. I've been in cargo control for about 22 years. My dad has a pawn shop where we sold a bunch of flatbed equipment, heavy haul, tarps, and he still does that, but I don't do what he does. So I got into the chrome business because people were always asking for a grill, bumper, lights, and obviously, I mean, I had to learn about all the stuff, but I'm really picky on the brands. You know, I have a bunch of great providers. They know what I want to provide to the customers is the best service, but I want good product. Because it's no good for me to sell something and I'll make a lot of money, but then I get people mad 2, 3 months, 6 months, you know. And we're very fortunate that people go by what we sell here, you know. And I tell people, hey man, this is a long-term business, not a short-term business.
I love that, man. And what are your thoughts about where the industry is right now? You know, I went to the Truckstop earlier and I saw one old school truck parked between a whole bunch of new ones. And I understand, the trucking industry and the times have changed, but what makes you just want to keep the old school trucking alive?
Man, if anybody who knows, there's a lot of people who got into the industry to make money, but there's people who have a passion for this. This goes back generations. I love talking to people when they come into the shop and their grandpa was a truck driver, their dad, their granddad. I have some of my customers like, hey man, I know that's a wrong hood on that truck. It's what? My granddad had one. We had one at the farm. I sit on his lap. We'd ride around here, do that. I mean, it's keeping trucking alive is something that we want. I mean, anybody who loves this industry, who really loves this industry and loves what they do, they want to see all these old school classic trucks. And it's getting harder and harder to find them. Harder to find certain pieces. Some have to be fabbed. Some have to be ordered. Sometimes you can't even find them, and you gotta try to rig it up, and it's kind of hard, especially when you're the kind of guy who's, hey, I want this original Peterbilt part on my Peterbilt. I don't want to put a newer part on my old school truck. I get people, hey, are you gonna leave it a single axle or make it a double? You're gonna put airbags? I said, no, man, we're gonna leave it all original. I was like, and it's cool to have, like, I had a gentleman here, he's like 70 years old, and he's like, hey, what's up, young man? How you doing? Doing all right? How's everything? He goes, what do you know about that dinosaur that's outside? I said, I told him how I got it, where it came from, and I showed him one that I seen not too long ago at a show, and he's like, man, he goes, don't tell. I said, we want to leave it original. We don't want all this exotic color paint on it. We want an original truck. We want to park in front of the shop. We want people to come take pictures with their family. I want to see kids in it, you know what I mean? If anybody knows, I raised my kid. That's why I started my shop here at the shop. And it's always cool to see somebody who really loves these type of trucks that say, damn, man, I remember my grandpa having one. And I have a couple guys like, I was at Lufkin, they're like, man, don't you have one of these trucks? Oh, you should have brought us a man. We barely got it. We want to at least, clean it up a little bit, show people. But I talked to the guys out there and like, it's getting harder now to find a cab over at a good price. And I get it, because some people, it's not a cheap thing to do an investment to fix one of these trucks. But it's pretty cool to have it right there, to turn it on. But I tell people it's always nice to be able to fix one of these up and do a load with them. So, this is one of my buddy's truck. He had a little bad experience. Somebody I've known for a long time. We recently rewired this whole truck, added all the new lights. We took it to the shop and had a little bad experience. So we're getting it all ready. I have one of my guys doing the interior. We're hoping to have it prepped up for him by next month. We have another cab over that we gotta bring it out already. We were gonna have to look for some original Kenworth tanks. Customer I bought it. He wants to redo the truck. He wants a blue color. He wants to do Truck's dual revolution lights on it. And then we have another truck that we're gonna bring it out. We're gonna go ahead and give it a tune-up. We're gonna remove all the lights, and we're gonna do some watermelon lights upgrades on it. And then we have my cab over, which we are gonna have to tear apart later on once the new shop's built to redo it. But my son wants to give it more of an old school 50 model Corvette look.
Yeah. I love it, man.
And then we have the guys here with the Banks truck, which recently installed a bunch of glass watermelon lights, a visor, 8-inch Dynaflex exhaust, full complete white pipe, and he asked us to trim down his extension fairing. So the guys are having it. We're gonna have this truck out today. We got another truck in for mud flat bracket repair.
Man, you guys are doing your thing, man.
Man, we're blessed.
So, tell me, brother. So, where can they find you guys, man?
Man, so we're here on 6th and McCarty. Our address is 4520 North McCarty Street here in Houston, Texas. Our zip code is 77013. Our phone number is 281-888-9386. We have Facebook and Instagram, our TikTok, Freddy the Chrome Stop. You can see some of the installs that we're doing daily. Probably that's coming in and out of the shop, and some new upgrades that we're always doing to one of our show trucks.
I love it, man. And last words is, why do we need to keep old school trucking alive?
Man, if anybody knows this industry and how it's running, we want to have the original truck drivers here. I want my son to know what trucking is about, and it's always good. I tell people to see some of these old school trucks here. Everything else, obviously it's changing. More aerodynamic. They're trying to take long hoods away. Who doesn't like to see a nice long hood truck at the fuel station getting ready to hit a load out the way?
Hey, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, man.